Kicking it live. This is Tacoma Comics, and you are watching my pick of the week, number 6. Wow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, baby. 6. So 6 weeks into the new year, and I have not missed a pick of the week. Some of them have come out as late as Monday or Tuesday the following week, but never gone more than a week late. Haven't gone into another new comic book day, missing the previous one. So I'm going to start this off by giving a huge shout out to Discovery Bay Comics. I've got to be honest with you guys. I have checked his Instagram and I've seen, the what's on YouTube today. And so I kind of look at that. He's got like a screenshot from his YouTube video where it shows what's on YouTube today. I'm like, that's cool. That's a cool thing he's doing. And so every time I do a pick of the week and I know it's coming out, I message him on IG and I'm like, hey, I'm coming out next, tomorrow or whatever. And usually I get the time wrong because you know how it goes. You don't get stuff done on time. But this time I knew that I was off today and I knew the errands I had to run this morning and I knew I'd be able to hit the 2 o'clock time spot. I did hit the 2 o'clock time spot. I just did it on my other YouTube channel and I was like, I'm 10 minutes into the video and I got no viewers. People don't have to love me, but I usually got a few people out there watching my videos. And then I realized I was on the wrong channel. So that's why this one started at 2:15. But anyway, back to my actual story. I actually watched Discovery Bay's video this morning all the way through because I was off school and I had time to watch a video. And I was like, holy cow, he puts a lot of freaking effort into these videos. I mean, I don't have zero editing skills, but I don't have a lot of great editing skills. And he's just got, picture in picture when he's like Tacoma Comics. Hey, Nick, when he's like Tacoma Comics is coming up at 2 p.m. He's got a little screenshot from my kids in the opening of my edited videos. And he's got another picture of me from like the screenshot, the thumbnail of one of my live videos. And it's like, dang, he did that for like 10 different guys' videos. So a big shout out to Discovery Bay Comics. Definitely, if you guys are able to watch his stuff in the morning, the guy did some incredible work for the community and thankless work. I mean, nobody's paying him. I might send him an AOK at some point, but nobody's shooting that guy like $20 every time he advertises their video. So definitely check his stuff out. This is for you. I'm sorry. I'll show you a little Jasmine IPA. This is for you, Discovery Bay. So we got pick of the week coming up today, but we also got a few other things to go over. First up, so I had wanted to get this and get into it, and I'm really ticked that I missed the boat. I think the week issue 1 came out. My pull list was really large that week, so I never got number 1. And then I hate starting in a comic like 3 or 4 issues in after you hear that it's really good and you've missed it. So missed the boat. And then I heard that Sana Takeda was going to be at Emerald City Comic Con. And I was like, gee, I wish I had a monstrous number 1. Pope G, shout out to Pope G. Mr. Grimy himself is like, oh, I got a couple of those. I'll hook you up. In the mail, a nice Mylar bag a week or 2 later comes monstrous number 1. I read it and I was like, holy cow, where have you been all my life? You amazing, really written and beautifully drawn comic. You're freaking unbelievable. Unbelievable fantasy story, magic fantasy, unlike you've never seen before. So found the trade at Half Price Books. Since Image always does their first trades, volume 1s are always $10. This is $4.99, and for $4.99, 6 issues. It's not like Marvel that like a first trade is 1 through 4. Image first trades usually issues 1 through 6, and they're long comics anyway. So this was a lot of fun to read. I'm going to work on picking up this series. It's one of my new many goals I have coming up. And one of them is to get Monsters now. I've got issue 1, first and second printing. Issue 2 sitting at Half Price Books for like $10, but is tick, 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 tick mark all up and down the spine. Issue 3, 4, and 5 are there. I'm going to wait till they got a sale. They did have a 20% sale today, but wasn't quite what I was looking for to get those books. You can find a better deal on eBay if you really go searching. So that's what I'm looking for. So let's see what I did find at Half Price Books today. This is a storyline that's out of order. Oh, this is a storyline that I'm really liking. and I missed this one, 10 Grand by J. Michael Straczynski and Ben Templesmith. I'll tell you the truth. I picked up number one for $2 um, because Ben Templesmith is going to be at Emerald City Comic Con, and I was like, cool, I can get him to sign a number one. I've heard it's good. I know J. Michael Straczynski is a really good writer, but I don't think I've read a lot of his stuff. So I picked up issue 1, and I was like, wow, I like this story. So then I picked up issue 2, and I still liked it. So today I got issue 3, issue 4, and issue 5. I think there's only 12 books in this series. It's about this guy who is a killer for the mob, and he dies, and he's given this chance by the angels to battle demons on Earth for them. And if he fights for them, every time he dies, he'll get 5 minutes to spend with his ex-wife who's dead, or his dead wife, not ex-wife. So he takes the deal immediately because, of course, he loves his departed wife. And when he dies, he gets to see her for 5 minutes. I don't know how it's going to end or where it's going to go. They promise him that once they feel like he's paid off his debt to them, he'll be with his wife forever. Who knows if that's true or not. See where it goes. But it's a good series. If you ever get a chance to get it, like in trade paperback, where you find the back issues cheap, I would definitely pick it up. I liked it a lot. Those were all $1.50 each. I found issue 6 for 50 cents somewhere. I found these really cool variants for Fantastic Four that I've never seen before. And this is like late 2000s. This is 643. So the run ended at 645. This is a variant by Michael Golden. And I just love this. It's a little bit of a callback to Kirby, but not all the way, still a little bit stylistically different. But something about this caught my eye. So I said, all right, I'm going to grab that one. Kind of dig that. And then in the same vein, issue 644, another variant for Michael Golden. And then finally, I just figured I'd finish off the set. This is the last issue of volume 1 of Fantastic Four. This is not a variant. And this is, I don't even know Robinson, Kirk, Kessel. Abertov, Silva. I don't even know these creators because they're, this is about 10, 12-year-old comic, but I thought it was pretty darn cool. Really kind of liked that I got the last 3 issues in that run, and that one of them was, 2 of them were variants. I thought that was kind of neat. Pick this up. I've got this, and I know Civil War II wasn't the most popular, but I picked this up because this is Death of Incredible Hulk. Thank you, Nick. And so I figured I would go and grab another one of those. And then let's see what we got here. Just a bunch of Novas in the middle of Jerry Duggan's run. And the only reason I got these is because Nova is my younger son's favorite character. And I thought, for $2-3, I got him like 5 comics. So there's 23, there's 24, there's 25. There's 26. Is that a Carnage? It says Carnage Hungers. Yeah. 27 and missing 28, but there's 29. So it'll be nice to give him something to read. He's 9. He likes Nova. He says Nova's his favorite character. Boom. If you're watching All About Comics last night, I know they got off to a late start, but they had the show going. And, Pope is a huge, hey, Biggie Shaq, baby. Hookjaw, Pope's a huge Shark fan, and he was showing off this Hookjaw number 1, and I just happened to find it today. So I was like, boom, I took a picture. I texted Pope. I'm like, is this something you're interested in? He's like, yes, I'll pick that up every time. So it's 20% off today. So it was actually 40 cents. I said he's got to PayPal me 40 cents before I pick it up. He's like, done and done. So he and I have this thing going back and forth where like we keep sending each other comics, and then at one point I had some comics and he's like, oh, auction that stuff. I'm like, no, you want them, I'll give it to you. And it wasn't something worth like $20, but I picked it up for like $3 or $4 really cheap. And so he kept insisting that like I put him up for auction. He'd bid on them. I'm like, dude, I'm just going to send him to you. So eventually I did. So I'm going to send that one to him too. But that's what I was joking about with the 40 cents. I dig this variant cover. It went down to 50 cents. It's a variant for Original Sin. I think this is number 7. And this is number 5, or sorry, this is number 6. I like this. Unfortunately, it's the variant, I think number 7, that's done by Stephanie Hans that I really want. It's a full character holding the eyeball, not just this like floating hand holding the eyeball. But I kind of like this cover, so just for the covers, liking the covers, bro. Pick that one up, 50 cents. Let's see what Biggie Shack says. Hot Savage Conan and the other cover of Batman Laughs. Had to, yeah, dude, you got to get that stuff if that's what you like. I didn't jump on the Batman Who Laughs bandwagon just because I knew it'd be a money pit that I would just keep falling into. Kind of the same with Conan. I collected Savage Sword of Conan, the magazine, for a while during my teens, and I loved them all. And people say that the new ones are really great. I haven't felt the need to get back into them because I'm trying to limit all the stuff that I buy. You guys have seen, you're all in the same boat. You all buy a lot of stuff. So it's just one thing I didn't jump on, but it should be really cool. And, that Batman Who Laughs looks like it's a great story. Oh, sorry. There was 24 of the Nova. Did I get 2 of those, or did I just forget how to count? Probably forgot how to count. Let's see what the heck I did. 29, 23. Oh, I got the same freaking Nova twice. Idiot. X-Men is your money pit. Well, Aggressive Relaxing. I am trying to snatch up about 2 copies of 130 right now. First appearance of Dazzler. They just announced Dazzler and Tigra as the new one of the 4 Hulu shows that are going on. So they've got Howard the Duck, Dazzler, and Tiger. And I think the way they wrote it, it's together. And then 2 others, I can't now remember what they are. Somebody want to look up Key Collector app, they'll tell you, or any other comic news site, they'll tell you. So yeah, that looks pretty cool. I definitely want to get X-Men 130. I've got 129, 131, 132. And I'm trying to snag some cheap on eBay in good condition, and I might get one really nice one. But it's a money pit. It's definitely a money pit. Couple runs, Spawn, Detective, couple others. Do you need Spawn 127 Biggie Shack? They got it for $10 at Half Price Books right now. And I know that's one of the rare ones. It had a low print run. I don't know what its going price didn't seem more than 10 on eBay. So I always compare. I always look for comics that are supposedly keys on Key Collector app, but then I always go to eBay to look for the price because I find Key Collector app overstates the price a bit. And I'm not a huge Spawn fan, but I knew that there were some middle 100s that were kind of really low print runs, and 127 was one of them, and that's at Half Price Books. So there's number 6. This one, I don't know why this one was on super clearance and the others weren't. But anyway, that's issue shit. That's issue 6. So I'll be happy to read those tonight or tomorrow, and I'll be halfway through that. Then I got this, man. I always pick these up, especially when they're sealed like this. This is something weird, right? This is from Topps, that does the baseball cards. Topps Comics. This is issue 1 of 4. What is called Super Deluxe Kirby Chrome trading card. It's called Satan 6. It's got a Super Deluxe Kirby Chrome trading card inside. It's actually not sealed. It's so old. I think the glue just broke. So that I think the trading card's still there. Yeah, it is. But the reason I got this is because the number of creators on this like Topps little gimmicky thing is pretty cool. Hey, Mastodon. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, right? So let's see. We've got Tony the Tiger, Isabella Long, John Cleary, Armando Gill. 8 pages by Jack Kirby, inked by an all-star lineup. Terry Austin, Steve Ditko, Frank Miller, Mike Royer, and Joe Sinnott. I mean, that's, and then the cover is, you see above my thumb here, Kirby and McFarlane. And then they've got more by Steve Ditko in here. I mean, just a lot of creators on this stuff. Stuff that I don't think went anywhere. But it's just kind of cool to get these. I like gimmicky comics. Okay, yeah, I've got a few of them. I certainly haven't looked for them or collected them, but whenever I see them for 25 cents, I'll pick that up all day. That is my stuff, right? I like that gimmicky stuff, even if it's in the unsealed, sealable bag. But let's look at the Satan 6 Chrome trading card. The one that I got was, I don't know. Can you all identify these two members of Satan 6? So this members are Brian Blue Dragon, Desera, Hardluck, Kuga, Doc Mordius, and Frightful. Anybody know which one this is? I don't know which one this is. I'm going to guess that's Desera and Frightful. Let's see. I don't know. There was a spread in the. Yep. Oh my gosh. I was right. That's Desera. I mean, who out of those is going to be called Desera, right? The blonde with the skimpy outfit. And I guess that was either going to be Frightful or Doc Mordius. And so that is Frightful from Satan 6. Again, this is in beautiful condition for, I don't know when these came out, like the late 90s. This is 295, 1993. So yeah, a lot of fun. Yeah, good guess. I got lucky in that one. All right. Before I get to pick of the week, I wanted to go over one more thing here. And it's kind of been bothering me a bit, so I want to just elaborate on it. I ordered a mystery box from that Spider-Man booth. And I talked about it on Instagram really quickly, and I feel like I didn't do it justice because I was a little bit harsh on it. And I want to be clear. I think we have a role to be honest and ethical, and if we're going to call people out. So I got this, and I didn't love the comics that I got. So I want to be clear, right? You're paying $30 plus shipping because you're hoping to get the grand prize, because you see on Instagram and on YouTube somebody got the grand prize. But their line is that you'll get at least $30 worth of comics with the hope of getting grand prize. That's where I'm going to call them out a little bit on the $30 worth of comics. So what they do, and somebody mentioned this yesterday on Comic Books NYC, is they put price tags on them, right? So one comic I got here was X-Men 251. Everybody that's an X-Men collector loves this comic, right? They love this cover. Not much happened in the comic. It was a good Claremont X-Men comic, but it wasn't like, wow. It wasn't even newsstand, right? But it was pretty good. But it is not a $15 comic. Okay. So the $15 price sticker might be what some comic book store has it for, but you can get it in discount bins. You can get it at half price books. You can get it on eBay. You can get it on YouTube auctions for, this is like a $2-3 comic. Don't tell me this is a $15 comic. Right. So Macedon, you just saw it for $8. Hey, yeah, I think it's Keefin, right? Keefin, let me know if I'm saying it right, because otherwise I'll say it too many times and I'll get it wrong. So definitely not a $15 comic, right? Issue 212, $15 comic. This is issue 251, not a $15 comic. Some of them, Big and Shaq, they are quarter comics, and that's like, I think Bueller does that with his, but he only charges $11. And plus for shipping. So, I'm not calling Bueller out at all. I'm just saying, like, I think he goes to the 50-cent bins, the dollar bins, the quarter bins, and gathers stuff. That Spider-Man booth, when I put this on, thanks, Keithan. When I put this on Instagram, they responded and they were cool. And I was, like I said, I'm not trying to call them out. I'm not upset with that Spider-Man booth at all. I just think that the pricing that they give you to try to make you feel like you got a good deal is a little off. Well, yeah, Big Shaq, and I'll come back to that in a second. So the next comic they gave me, and I took the cover off this already, but the next one they gave me was this one, and it had an $8 price sticker. Now this is a $2 book, right? This is a $2 book. And I love this book actually because it's got Wolverine at his correct height. Wolverine is short, and he plays best literarily, if that's a word, I don't know, as a short character, right? That is part of his mythology, and part of what makes him cool is that he's got a chip on his shoulder. It might be a $50 book if there's a golden ticket for a tour of a chocolate factory on the inside. So I've always liked this. I like that Sienkiewicz's name is on the tombstone, and is it Milgram, or I think it's Milgram, and the other creators are on the tombstones. That's kind of cool. But we're not talking about an $8 book there. So that's all I got to say. Yeah, that's like more like it, like $1 or $2, 50 cents maybe. Now this one, I don't know much about the Transformers and the variants, and this is not the original Marvel run. This is much later from IDW, and it's it's there. It's number 6 in a 6-issue series, the Unicron series, and it's a variant. There might be a Transformer lover out there who would pay this much money for it, but it's not like everybody's talking about that Transformer Unicron number 6 variant. So again, putting $25 on there, a little bit misleading. Sorry, try and get these out without doing that. Spider-Man number 12. This is from the Bendis and Pichelli run. This was a really good read. It went back and forth between 2 different series, little Miles Spider-Gwen love. It was kind of fun. This is another $2 book, and I know that because I purchased it for $2 from Half Price Books, not for 10, right? So to tell me that I got over $30 worth of stuff in here, and then when I mentioned Instagram, they're like, "Well, we price by the condition of our books," and they're all in great condition, no doubt. What's up, Woodard? They're all in great condition, but they are not even in great condition. They are not, worth what those price stickers say. And if you go into a comic book shop, sometimes they have stuff that's priced higher than you'll find it in Half Price Books, or you'll find it on a YouTube auction or an eBay because they're in the business. I understand that, right? So again, I'm not slagging off Spider-Man Booth. I'm not calling them out specifically for anything that they did. You go into a mystery box. Expecting a mystery, and not knowing what you're going to get, and it's very clear. It's very clear that when I ordered this box, that you're paying the extra money because you're hoping to get the grand prize. After all is said and done, and after I said I'd never do this again, that Spider-Man booth came out with this week's grand prize is a really nice copy of Giant Size X-Men number 1. So I ordered 2 boxes. Sucker. They take away shipping if you order 2 boxes, which is kind of cool. So $60 instead of $74 for 2 boxes. And I probably won't get the grand prize, but I figured it was worth it. Maybe it's wrong. So this was the last one in the box, and this one actually has value. $40 is probably the top price I've seen for it, but this is an Art Germ variant to Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man number 1 by Chip Zdarsky. I have seen this on eBay for $40. I've seen this undersold for $40. It's not a comic that I want, but it's definitely a comic that does have value. It's a Spider-Man comic, right? Peter Parker. It's a number 1. It's a variant. It's a black and white variant. It's a Virgin variant by Art Germ, who's one of our favorite artists. Now, I don't know why we've got claws and a sword. Are we Storm Shadow? Are we Snake Eyes? Are we X-23? Are we Mary Jane? Who are we? I don't know. I'm not sure who I'm looking at. But she looks pretty hot, and she's drawn really well, and she's got lots of weapons. So that's pretty cool. So again, I don't know, $40, that's high end, but somebody would pay $40 for this. Anybody wants this, I'll ship it to them in the United States for $30. Just let me know. And that would be that. The other thing about this is they come in a really nice box. I kind of dig that, right? I'm going to take these boxes to Comic-Con and put the comics in here that I want to get signed and throw it in my backpack and not worry about it. That's pretty cool. That's actually a little bit more worth it. Let's check the chat. Keithan, that is a nice cover. If you're in the United States, you can have it for $30. And Macedon, you probably are correct. So again, I'm not slagging off Spider-Man booth. I think that they're an honest business. If you get the grand prize, they're a great business. If you wanted that book, they're a great business. If you don't want that book, you probably got equal value for what you put in. It's and it's okay. So again, my only problem was that they put the price stickers on, right? And they say it's worth this much when it's not, because if I try to take any of those and sold them on on JP's auction on Wednesday night, they won't sell except for maybe that Art Germ, which, by the way, you can have shipped for $30 if you want. So there's that. Biggie Shack says Bueller, at least his price is cheap, and Doors picked some good books. Yeah, Bueller, I haven't received a Bueller box, but I think 11 plus 4 shipping sounds about right. Looks like he gives good value. So yeah, and Bueller, at least you can go on his show and you can see, hey, what do we get for 50 cents this week? And he rifles through all the books he picked up for 50 cents. Those are going to end up in the box. You can get some runs. So yeah, again, I'm not calling out anybody in particular. If anything, I'm calling out the practice of putting a price sticker to try to make it look like it's worth a lot more than it is. But just this box alone is nice to have. That Art Germ variant, I can get Art Germ to sign, and Chip Zdarsky, or I can probably eBay it. The other books, I'll keep the Alpha Flight. I'll try to get rid of the Transformers. I'll put the Spider-Man in a value pack. And Macedon, I think you're absolutely right. In the end, a book is worth exactly what somebody is willing to pay. And if that's the case, maybe somebody's willing to pay $30 or $40 for that, and that's not bad. All right, let's get to what we're here for. My pick of the week. It was a low week for me. We're looking at Wonder Twins #1 by my good friend Mark Russell. I don't know him at all. I just love his writing. I got a variant cover there, which I think is pretty darn cool. It is Byrne on the art. Probably not John Byrne. Probably another Byrne. I'll have to look inside to see if I can catch his name. Stephen Byrne and Dave Sharp on the letters. This variant cover by Dustin Nguyen, who does a lot of the work on Ascender and Descender with Jeff Lemire. I also picked up, it's Kim and Kim. I like these two. Space Bounty Hunters by Magdalene Visaggio and Cabrera. What is Cabrera's first name? Want to give some credit here. Eva Cabrera, Claudia Guerre on colors, and Zach Sam on letters. One of my favorite comics of the modern era came to an end today with issue 38 of Miss Marvel. There are too many people on this to mention. We've got G. Willow Wilson, Eve Ewing from Ironheart, whole bunch of guest writers, Jim Zub, Saladin Ahmed does some of the pages, which is nice because Ahmed is picking up the new Miss Marvel that's starting in March. All of the artists, Takeshi Miyazawa and Nico Leon, who've been doing most of the work of the last 60 issues, are there. Some guest artists, nothing from Adrian Alfana, who did the first couple issues, first 10 issues or so, but that's in there. Speaking of Eve Ewing and Luciana Vecchio, Ironheart #3. Mark Millar and Oliver Copiel on Magic Order #6. And I'm going to show this, but this doesn't count as my pick of the week because I didn't read it, and I'm probably not going to read it. Speaking of G. Willow Wilson and our friend Art Germ, I got the Wonder Woman one. I'm a sucker for gimmicks, so having the cover this way, not the first person to do it, but they did it. So nice. Got it twice. That is beautiful. I was not a fan of the work he did on Supergirl. I thought she looked like a doll. This looks a little bit more realistic, and just a really cool cover. So totally digging that. Let's see what we got going on in the chat. Everybody got quiet because they're anticipating my pick of the week. See, there it goes. Sometimes you got to refresh the chat, and I missed like 20 of these. Wow, I missed a lot of chat. Okay. Hey, JPL Flash Comics is here. Not part of your scene is here. Yeah, I think the Wonder Woman looks less like a doll, and I've got a few of that that Wonder Woman. I mean, it's like an airbrushing technique he does on the face, but I think maybe with the blonde hair and the cheeks a little rounder on the Superwoman, this one looks like a human to me. And the way she's laying with her fingers over the cat on those early Super girls, didn't like so much. This one, I like this cover a lot better. So I picked up two. All right, so let's break it down and see what we got going on. Got a few new people in here. So we've got Wonder Twins. This was a really nice one. So Mark Russell is always going to do satire. He's always going to do some stories within the stories. He's always going to make some social commentary. And what's up? You're okay. Just chill, girl. Dog's having some problems. And I like that sort of stuff. So it's right in my wheelhouse. So I've loved a lot of the stuff he did on Snagglepuss. Lone Ranger, not so much. Flintstones, absolutely. So I was excited to get the Wonder Twins, and it's getting some good buzz. In this one, the social satire is about high school and how fucking much high school sucks for everybody. And so, you know, they basically the conceit here is that they're from another planet. Of course, Superman is taking them on as a favor to their father. They're trying to get a job with the Justice League. They're also trying to go to high school. And so Zan has this idea that he's going, since he can turn into water, he's going to get a cool nickname called H2O. He's going to get a cool pet. He's going to get a Letterman's jacket. And he's going to be cool in high school, and everybody's going to love him. Well, of course, that doesn't work out because on the planet that they're from, whenever there's a thunderstorm, the very nice advanced race of egalitarian people just fall into an all-out orgy of like where they cross sex and they cross gender and they cross species and they just go at it like running animals. So when the first thunderstorm happens on Earth that he experiences, he goes into puberty and he starts to try to, I guess, get it on with the ground and fall in love with the coach. And of course, everybody laughs at him and makes fun of him. And his new nickname becomes Thunderlust, not H2O. And he's nowhere near as cool as he thought. And Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman are there trying to console him. And it was a pretty darn fun issue. Definitely liked Wonder Twins. I will get all 6 issues, pretty sure. Pretty darn fun. Mark Russell writing as good as he does. Next up, Oh Shit, It's Kim and Kim. This is going to be like it or leave it for most people. I dig Oh Shit, It's Kim and Kim. I like Magdalene Visaggio a lot. She writes really well. There's definitely some hot characters in here. This young lady in the skimpy dress down here is their antagonist for this. There's lots of fighting. There's lots of emotional angst with the relationships. One of the Kims is transsexual, and so she's had problems with her father accepting her all along. And then there's this loving moment at the end that takes you away from the action into emotional tears. And there's a lot of kick-ass fighting and mobster stuff in the middle. A good issue, a lot of fun. If you like that, I suggest to go read the original stuff that they did, the first 2 4-issue limited series before they did the ongoing. Miss Marvel, this is the end of an era. So I think it was 19 plus 38 issues. That's not quite 60 issues by my reckoning. But this is the last of G. Willow Wilson's run. Nice essay in the back where she's talking about how she expected it to go for 10 issues and not get anywhere near this. I did not like where this title has been going on and off for a while now. I just bought it because I love the character, but this one hit all the feels. If I was near tears, if you're, it's all about friendship. It's through the guise of playing a mid 2000s level up video game, which is G. Willow Wilson's love. She loves multiplayer online video games. Talks about all that all the time. Just a really good issue. Not much happened other than friendship, which is what Miss Marvel's been about for a while. But I really dug this. Nice little call out to Sarah Bocelli's variant cover here, reaching out for the alarm clock, but instead of her arm extending, it's just reaching normally. Nice contrast. I like that she's wearing the blue and yellow jacket. I've always liked this color scheme on the Miss Marvel jacket that she had in the very first issue. Good issue. If you're not into the character, you don't care about Bruno and Nakia and Zoe, I wouldn't suggest it. But if you are a Miss Marvel fan, if you've been following on and off, this is a really nice way to wrap it up. Ironheart, I still think Eve Ewing is a massive, underrated talent. Just an incredible writer. I mean, she can hit all the superhero beats really quickly. Riri Williams finally has a voice. You know, Brian Michael Bendis might have given birth to her, but he didn't really know what to do with her as a non-superhero character. Eve Ewing, who is from Chicago and who is African American, is not afraid to take Riri Williams to, I think it's Chicago, and to the African American side of town. I don't know if that's the PC way to say it, but is not afraid to put her in her element where she grew up, with the people she grew up with you know, all the attendant issues. Not afraid to have her mom yell at her and tell her, you know, how dare you have your artificial intelligence sit in class and take notes for you? You're too smart for that. You get back to school or I'm going to give you a whooping. You know, that sort of stuff. And then, you know, so you got great character development, but the battles in here, I mean, the Luciana Vecchio is killing it with the artwork. The battles are good. The fights are good. You know, there's this flashback to, I didn't get the Champions Infinity tie-in #2, but apparently Thanos did this to her and she's like no more. She has this flashback when this character does that and she kicks his ass. She's like, F you. No, that ain't gonna happen. You got this nice page here that ends at the bottom with I'm not dying today. So I am loving this run. I'm really loving this run. Second, next page, boom. But then, of course, she's called away to go help other people. And this guy's got some magic powers and he disappears. And so it ends on a sad note. I'm loving this. I'm loving this run. Really good. And then finally, Magic Order had to get a variant cover to this. So if you've been reading this, you know how good it is. Mark Millar can write the hell out of a story. It's a very simple, basic story. Magic Family's battling it out. So it's not like we're in uncharted territory, but he just does it really well. If you don't want spoilers, if you're reading this, look away because I'm going to give you some spoilers. But basically, if you've been following from issue 1, you're like, okay, here's good side, here's bad side. They're battling. Issue 2, holy shit, that guy's dead. Issue 3, oh, they're not getting out of it. Issue 4, they're almost out of it, but oh no, he's a turncoat. Everything's ruined. Issue 5, utter destruction. What are they going to do? You kind of have an inkling if you're, 47-year-old guy who's been reading comic books most of his life. You kind of have an idea how they're going to resolve it, but they did a really nice job. So turn away if you don't want spoilers. But that splash there, 1.5 page splash, that should tell you a lot about what happens. it does end up well in the end, but it does it so much better um, than I thought. I like when bad magicians get ripped in half by a wand strike. That's always cool to see. Uh, Things end up well. They definitely end up in a way that you could expect there'll be another book or another volume of this. They end around a funeral at a um, burial. Sorry, not a funeral. That's how the book one started, I believe. Uh, yeah, I mean things work out nicely, but uh, there's definitely room to grow. So that was really cool. All right, let me just check the chat one more time. And somebody here loves Wonder Woman, a little Golden Age for under $100. That might be worth it. The Wonder Twins, it's up to you. I don't think you're going to see great fights. You're going to see a nice commentary on high school and all the horrors of high school through the lens of two lesser known superheroes from the Super Friends. I don't know if the Space Monkey Gleep is going to be there yet. We'll have to see. So I think Wonder Woman is as strong as Superman, but I'm not sure. Let's see. Depends on who's writing her. Yeah, JPL, Miss Marvel, I'd go back and get No Normal, the first trade from Willow Wilson's first run. I think that's where she was at her freshest and most exciting with that. That would be a good place to start. Okay. Comic Book Gallery says, no, she's not. Let's have a geek out here. No, we could have this argument forever. I don't know enough about DC characters and history, honestly, to say anything. I'm just messing with you guys. What was my pick of the week, guys? Was it Magic Order? Oh, the bag's getting a little crinkled there. Was it Ironheart? Oh, Libby, stop. She's a great guard dog. Was it Miss Marvel? Was it Kim and Kim? Or was it Wonder Twins? Throw down your guess. Throw down your guess in the I stirred up some shit with my Wonder Woman comment. Huh? I'm messing with you guys. Throw down your guess in the chat. Let's see what you think. Let's see what you think. What was my pick of the week? I'll take a little sip of beer while I wait for you to make your decisions. Biggie Shaq. The Wonder Woman. I didn't read it. What is this, issue 64? I think I've got 61 to 62 because I wanted to give G. Willow Wilson a chance, but I didn't love what she was doing, so I didn't go past that. It's definitely a nice book there. Nobody's going to guess my pick of the week here. It's not the Wonder Woman because I didn't read it. I just got it for the cover. Yeah. The story, again, I liked Greg Rucka's beginning on it, but I didn't love the story even before he left. I didn't read it after he left, and I read a few when Willow Wilson came back to it. Well, Mastodon and Biggie Shaq, it probably was between those two and Ironheart, but it was indeed Magic Order. This is one where, following the story from the beginning, this is an incredible payoff. See, Woodard, Miss Marvel, I was tearing up in the beginning just because I was thinking about it being over. I've met G. Willow Wilson 3 times. I've talked to her a tiny little bit on Twitter. I'm not like her best friend or anything. 1 or 2 tweets back and forth. I've given her some comics to give away at a con she does at a local high school. I've had her sign a million things. I've loved some of the artwork. It wasn't an amazing issue. It was a really nice ending. And so I'll definitely give it thumbs up for being a nice ending, but I don't think it's best issue. Magic Order, just some sick fucking twisted revenge killing, nice story wrap up. Everybody got what was their due. And so, it comes back to it. Nothing was out of the ordinary. It's like the good guys win. This person gets this person did bad, so they got this, but they get this, they get this other little present in the end so that, not everything was horrible. and the bad guys all get killed. So, in the end, it was like, okay, it all worked out, and it's very basic kind of story arc, but Millar just wrote it really well, and Oliver Copiel on art just did a really nice job. So I'm definitely giving it to Magic Order. If you guys like superhero stuff and you want a title that's strong, I need more people to order Ironheart. I need that series to continue. I think Eve Ewing is really onto something. I think maybe because Riri Williams lived in Kamala and Miles' shadow for a while and just didn't get a lot of respect. Maybe she just wasn't quite at that level, but I really want this one to last. So give that shout out. If you like satire, definitely go for Wonder Twins. And yeah, that's about it. So it's getting close to, it is 3:00. 3:00. I got to go pick up my my son from school, and looks like the dog might want to go. Don't you dare pee in the house. Looks like the dog might want to go out. So I'm going to let him out. Hey, Prowler, my friend, you're going to have to catch it on the rewind because I got to go pick up the kid from school. Good to see you here. Thank you, everybody, for your support, for being in the chat, and for your comments. Definitely have to have some more superhero battles later. And I'm going to sign off now. But you guys all have a great day. Hopefully I'll see you on somebody's live stream later today. So long.